Battle of the Challenges podcast with Vincent Cloud.
David Lauer.
And this is the episode 7 recap. A brilliant episode.
Blood Brothers.
Blood Brothers, yeah. Well, maybe not brilliant. It's, Blood Brothers. That's what it was called?
Yeah.
Holy shit, completely accurate.
Stephen and Thomas. There's Abe
brothers,
and Mike.
And there's blood, too.
Yeah.
There will be blood. It could have been called There Will Be Blood.
Oh, and there was.
Yeah. So, blood. So, I guess the main thing, the opening is Abe, he doesn't know about Kara and Thomas. Like, this is what we were talking about in the previous episode. Bananas is like, I'm going to blow the top off this thing. So, Bananas and Vince are talking, and he's like, we got to break up that alliance because it's Abe and Kara and Thomas. But to me, it's mostly just Bananas saying, let's take the heat off of us. This is a guy's week, you know?
Well, and the way the eliminations have gone over the last few episodes, Banana's friends have slowly been gone, so it's like he doesn't have as many allies, and he knows he needs to get the attention, because otherwise when they're thinking who they're going to toss in, Vince and Johnny are just going to be easy pickings because no one's really on their side. So he wants to get people talking about other stuff.
Yeah. And if he survives this guy's week, that gets him even closer to the final.
Mm-hmm.
And
if he's in the final, he's the favorite.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Yeah, and just because he survives this week, that also means he gets a nice little paycheck for every episode he's on. You know? He's thinking green. He's thinking income and shit. This is his livelihood.
And if he has this opportunity, why is he not going to take it? Like, I'm surprised no one else has, at least just drunkenly said something.
Yeah.
You'd think that would have happened sooner, but no one has.
And you know what? Perfect timing, because this is a guy's elimination day. You don't want to tell them on a girl's elimination. That's not going to do shit right then and there. You want it to be fresh, the wounds to be fresh, and it'll bleed into the elimination rounds. So this is good timing. But it's actually not Bananas that says anything. It's Vince.
Yeah, but even just like this idea as a whole, it is risky because Bananas, if he tells Abe and makes him aware of this, then is Abe just going to be like, screw you, Bananas, we're all voting for you, and we're going to toss you in because you're trying to stir the pot.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But Vince, he goes on and he starts talking about
Abram,
yes.
Yeah, and Abram's just like, right away is like, dude, you never talk to me. What the fuck is all this about? And Vince
and it was very awkward.
Yeah. But it was so great because Abe is just like completely still and completely just like, can you be more specific? You're being very vague right now. And Vince is like, I don't know, man. I never saw it, but I heard some stuff. Not friendly, more than flirting. And Abe is just like, it's pretty goddamn suspicious that you're Banana's lineage and you're coming to me when your guys are in trouble and you're saying this. And he's like, I know it's supposed to piss me off, but it's not pissing me off. Okay, that's a lie. I am extremely pissed off. So he leaves.
He knows the right decision is to not be pissed off by this. But he can't help but be pissed off about it because he's known Cara Maria for years and years and years.
Yeah. I mean...
And I think he's pretty shocked that it would even come up or, like, be a thought. Like, for there to be any amount of truth to it, I think that really upsets him because that's Abe. He's a passionate dude about everything.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. The man feels like no one else. He feels on 11, he's fucking cranked up. But, like, it's funny because Vince is saying... all this like, I heard this and I heard that, and Abe's like, oh, so that doesn't mean anything really. Then finally Vince does say, I seen him. And Abe's like, oh, now you saw him, and Vince is like, that's what I was trying to say. It's clearly just getting him riled up, or supposed to. Abe knows that Vince never actually saw them, but now he's saying, yeah, I actually saw them now. He knows Vince is lying. He knows Bananas is behind this. So what he decides to do is just go up to Cara Maria. She's there.
Why didn't Vince just say, I saw them cuddling and giving each other massages,
Yeah.
Why didn't he just say that?
Yeah. He should have had the fucking, like, the GoPro in his hand. He's like, and plus evidence, bitch. Clicks it on.
If they had, like, a T-Mobile Sidekick or something that could, like, video record it.
Yeah.
Remember when that used to be a sponsor?
Yeah.
It's a callback.
They've been dropped. And by they, I mean the challenge was dropped from T-Mobile. So
he goes to Cara Maria.
Yeah, who is sitting right with Thomas, Steven, and then that's it basically. Anissa's there, but she's not there. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, she's there just because I think they're like, okay, we need to have people of this team to sit down there, and then.
Well, they cut to to Anissa, and Anissa's like, I don't know anyone. And, you know, she's trying to make a joke about it. I'm like, no, honestly, producers, cutting to her is the most pointless thing ever. Because
They're
she
just
says,
trying to explain why she was sitting there,
Yeah.
even though she really had no reason to sit there.
but she's there. She's a fly on the wall. So, anyways, Abe walks up and he's like, Vince told me you hooked up with Thomas. And Carmenier's like, what? You know, like, what? Like, in disbelief or whatever. And she doesn't say no. She says, what? That's just Bananas trying to get under your skin because, you know, to take the heat off of him or something, right? It's their backs are against the wall or something. Abram says something like, those are pretty bold accusations, especially concerning someone who I live and completely have trust in. So,
Doesn't she say, why are you looking at me like that, or something like that?
Yeah, and he's just like, well, because I have to address this. You know, you said what, but, you know, and it sounds crazy, and Bananas has good reasons to kind of trying to break us apart, but I'm going to ask it. Did you fool around with anyone? And she says, no. Or, no, she says, yes. I've been really nice to these boys ever since I put them in the pit. Weird line.
It was, because it was like she was trying to say she's been equal with both of those guys. And Steven has never cuddled or done anything with her, gone into a bathroom with her. Like, it's only been Thomas.
Yeah, it's kind of true.
And she's, like, just trying to lump them together as one entity. Like, oh, yeah, I've been nice to them. We're friends.
And correct me if I'm not mistaken, wasn't she fooling around with Thomas and then she sent him in elimination? She's trying to say, I've been really nice to these boys ever since I threw them in the pit. No, you were being nice with Thomas, and then when Kahana wanted you to throw him in, you threw in Thomas anyways. Remember, that was the whole thing? They're like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? So the dick meant nothing, Kara, you know? So now she lied. She's trying to say, I've been nice to them ever since. No, you were fooling around. That was that same episode with the fucking footage of the GoPro, you know? So chronologically, she just lied. Or she lied.
Wow.
According to the Chronicles, man.
Like, I wish Carmen would just come out and say exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Because it's like she's trying to play the game, though, still. She's trying to diffuse the situation. Like, her mind is still on the challenge.
The game, yeah.
And it's all about the game to her, because she's like, Abram's here, I need him on my side, I gotta keep him happy. That's what she always wants to do, and she doesn't want to upset him, because she knows winning it is all that matters.
Yeah, and because he's basically gonna get up and leave. Abe's gonna get up and leave. He's just like, so what are you guys doing here? And they're like, just trying to destroy Bananas. Basically, we're plotting against him. And they're just kind of laughing, like, yeah, man, just literally, we're talking about anti-Bananas, so everything's cool. And Abra's like, all right, plot away, I guess. And he gets up, and everyone's laughing, like, nervously. They're like, ha, ha, ha. And then he's like, I would kill you, like that. And Tom's like, and Car asks, what did he say? I will not, or I would?
I will or I won't?
Yeah, I will or I won't. And Tom is like, no, he said he would. And Car's like, oh, shit. So she goes after Abe, talking to him, and she's like, you know what? She's like, first of all, I just want to say that I love you. And then she doesn't say anything, and Abe's like, hold on. Like, are you saying, is there a PS after this? Because you just stopped, you know? Are you saying PS, I've been fucking other dudes? And she's like, no. God, no. Like, that's not it at all. And he's like, okay, all right, just checking, you know? And he's just being really cool with her right now. You know, there's no one else. It's just the two of them. He's being just like, okay, you said no. All right, good. And he's kind of laughing it off. He's like, well, can you believe it, you know? And he's like, yeah, just making sure. He said something like, if you were to tell me something, like something did happen, like what would you tell me? And Kara just shrugs and says, massages and egg sandwiches? And Abe's face is just like, oh, I know what egg sandwiches means.
What does that mean?
I joke, of course, but, you know, there's the massage. Like, what are you doing giving him a massage? Like, that's already, you know, how do you feel about a massage? Is that...
That's pretty sensual. That's more than a makeout sometimes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Think so?
Depends how handsy you're getting.
With the happy ending and shit?
Well, no, not that. But it's very intimate, and it's you can do it for a freaking hour straight.
Yeah. Yeah, and then egg sandwiches, I mean...
What does that mean?
Need we say more? Oh, you don't know what it means?
I have no idea.
An egg sandwich is when you...
Egg salad?
between two buns. That's a fucking. No, I don't understand what that means, but to me, she was saying like egg sandwiches. You know what that means. Abe was like, what the fuck? Either way, what Abram. I'm just
You
making.
think she? Yeah, I think she meant literally egg sandwiches. They would make egg sandwiches together in the kitchen and give each other massages.
But you know what? Abe is like. He's got this look at him where he's just like, I'm disappointed. Like, you basically said that you've done something. You know, just I don't know. Everything that Kara has said is just kind of writing the in between, kind of writing the technicality. Where like I never actually said no. I just said what. I've been really good to these boys. You know. He says, massages and egg sandwiches. And you think that would have been a good idea to tell me when I first got here? No, it wouldn't have. I'm going to go out on a limb, but yeah, it's probably a good idea you didn't tell me when I first showed up. So both of them recognize that massages and egg sandwiches mean something because they both react to it. So she says, I didn't want to be bad to anyone in elimination, and it was last minute, and it was wrong, and I felt like a dick. So she's describing the massage and the egg sandwich. And Abe says, so you didn't give a massage just because you felt bad. That was a dumbass decision. Why would you do something that would be offensive to me? So what are we saying now? What are we try to follow the logic? Are you with me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just waiting for you to pause. Yeah, I think.
Am I retelling the story accurately?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It sounds like an accurate depiction to me.
Alright. I was just like, nothing, Dave, nothing. He's just like lost in the story. He's like, yeah, what then would happen? I'm like, well, I don't want to recite this whole fucking episode by myself.
He was really disappointed and hurt that Cara Maria. He hasn't quite gotten exactly, like maybe it was just massages and egg sandwiches, whatever that means, if that's a cutesy word that they have for something, or if it's just whatever, hanging out. He knows that they were getting kind of close to each other, and that,
Yeah,
and it hurts, and that's exactly, it should hurt, because why would he expect her to do that?
Yeah, so he's like, that was pretty offensive, and all she says, and this is the heartbreaking part, I think, between the two of them, she says, I just felt like I had to do whatever it takes to make it to the end. Now, that's a line that that can be true for a competitor, for a challenger. But you're saying that line to your loved one. That's totally different from when you're saying it to producers or when you're saying it to other challengers. But you're saying that to your loved one. We're like, hey, I hooked up or I did whatever I had to do to get to the end. Flirting, that's what I did.
But how much did it really help her game at all?
Whether it was or if it wasn't, it's still such a cold thing to say to him, I feel like. I don't know, that's how I felt.
Yeah.
A very cliched line.
She's saying the game is more important than us, almost. Yeah. She's putting, like, whatever helps her in the game. But it's arguable that it even was much help to her.
Yeah, Abram, he just laughs. Almost kind of like incredulously. He's just like, I can't believe you just said that. You used one of the oldest lines in challenge history on me to explain why you did what you did. And you still won't really fess up. You're talking massages and sandwich food? Like, what the fuck is the matter with you? So he says, but no, he doesn't say what the fuck. He's actually still kind of being kind of mellow.
And he's trying to process this and think of, okay, yeah, what about the game?
He says, well, I'm not into it, obviously. So instead of me trying to kill him, you're going to vote him into elimination tomorrow. He's talking about Thomas and Carl. Like, he just says it. He's like, I'm not going to kill him, but you're going to put him in elimination. And she says, oh, but Jamie and I already told him that we wouldn't. And he was like, oh, so then you're in a tough spot, aren't you?
he did not care. He did not care at all. He was like, whatever.
He's like, let me ask you, have you made any promises with anyone? And Carr says, they're the only ones, Thomas and Steven, because we screwed them over previously by putting them in. So Abe is just like, listen to all this, like, holy shit, you're still him and Han about this decision. I told you what to do, or not told you what to do, but this is exactly it. He says, I'm not telling you, Kara, I'm asking, put Thomas in elimination. And Kara's like, I feel like such a dick. And Abe's like, you should. I love how he's just handling the situation. I mean, I would lose my shit. I'm a jealous man myself. If we were in front of international televisions, we were in front of cameras that's going to be seen by, crowds from 34 to like 18, and everyone's like, holy shit, she's been cheating on you, bro. And not only that, she's being very kind of fake and unapologetically right now in front of you, your whole relationship to see, and he's just being entirely calm. He's like, yeah, you are, Dick. You're going to put Thomas in.
But he was...
please do that.
But it wasn't like him just being nice, though. He's just manipulating her. Like, he knows...
Yeah.
And, like, all she's trying to do is just, like, put out the fire. Like, she's just in, like, she's knows something happened. She's dancing with her words. He knows that. And he really, like, to me, Abe is just kind of like, okay, I'm going to get you, if you're going to be this way and act all apologetic towards me, I'm just going to manipulate you and to make you do this, because I know I can talk you into it, because she felt so guilty about it that he's like, okay, I'm going to exploit this.
Yeah, he says, I am guilt-tripping Kara hard right now. I know that. She says, and she's saying in the confessional, admitting, like, you know what, I don't like being strong-armed into this. Like, I want to do my own voting and I want to play my own game, and now he's telling me to do something that's going against my plans. It's the opposite.
And I don't understand, why did she not argue and be like, hey, why not just put in Bananas and Vince? Because Abe's whole thing, ever since he's got here, is get rid of Bananas.
Oh, she will address that later on.
That's his mission.
Yeah. So, anyways, she's saying, I don't like being strong-armed, so she's not really saying anything, and Abe says, the fact that you're having any kind of difficulty right now with this decision is extremely insulting to me, again with the guilt tripping. So finally, he cracks for her. He's like, oh, look at you, you're pouting now, come here, and she kind of goes into his arms. And to me, I'm like, holy shit. He's treating her
like a puppy dog the whole time, like a crying puppy. Come here.
Yeah, so she hasn't really said yes or no at all, and he's gone from, like, extremely angry and hurt and deceived, and now he's just like, oh, God damn it, come here. You're so pretty. I still love you. Like, it's a terrible feeling. I've had a relationship quite like that, where I'm like, God damn it. I guess it's better to cuddle and, deal with the problems later. But, like, it's toxic. Doesn't it feel kind of emotionally, like, unhealthy for both of them?
It seems like they almost seem like they've gone through all the steps of an argument before so many times that they're almost going through the motions of speeding up everything. Okay, now I feel sorry for you. Okay, now we're gonna hug.
Yeah.
And act like we're not mad about it,
Yeah,
they're just like speeding up the whole fight cycle rather than it be like over the course of a day. They're like, oh, we're just gonna wrap this up in this one sitting.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh, so anyways, they're snuggling. And he says, just because you made a mistake a week ago doesn't mean you have to follow through with it in terms of helping out Thomas and Steven. And he says, and if it's important to you, it's important to me. It's just important on how you win.
Yeah. I mean, he's saying,
it's true,
I get that you want to win.
Also guilt, right?
Yeah, but he's saying you should do whatever it takes to win the game, but not at the expense of someone you love.
Not turning heel, which I mentioned this before to you, I think. Kara's turning heel in a way this episode, or she has been this season.
Yeah, I think she has, and then now it's kind of the reveal, but she has. I mean, she should never have been with Thomas. Like, if they're dating, if Cara Maria and Abram are dating before the show, they come on the show, you know it's going to get out. So it was almost like she was doing it on purpose. She's like, I don't care.
Yeah, that's crazy. All this stuff is going to be,
she basically just thought, he's not here, I'm going to do whatever I want, and I'm going to get with this guy.
I mean,
like, if Abe hadn't have shown up, who knows what would have happened with Thomas and Cara Maria. Yeah. Maybe by, like, episodes 7 or 8, they're full-on makeout mode and stuff like that.
They have a CTDM moment on the cliffs.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so now we're on the bus ride to the mission of the day. On the bus ride, Abe is sitting there. He's like, so...
Now I have you all gathered in one place. A few things I'd like to say.
You're all trapped with me.
Yeah.
Well, in the confessional, he says, my emotional response is just to go break Thomas's arms. Or I can just do it the political way, the challenge way, and expose some rights and some wrongs and shit. He's a vet, and watch him work. He goes into the back of the bus, and he says, But it's very fatherly. He's like, I just want to address that the people that are in alliances supposedly and trying to work together for good. I hope they're playing right. I hope people are treating each other with respect. And it's very preacherly, and Maria's eyes just peering out in horror from behind the bus seat. She's like, "Are you kidding me right now?" He's like, I want people to be good and shit like that. And I just want the people that I know that are working together and the people I'm working with is that you're being lied to right now. And Steven is like, by who? And he's like, you guys. He points out to Steven and Thomas. They didn't have to mention anything when he mentioned you guys aren't being treated right. It's such a, like, why did they pop up and say, by who? You know? Was it, I don't know, what do you think? Was it, should they have just shut up and let Abram just go on and try and say, like, it's actually these twins, but the twins are the one that get defensive and speak up. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just bit right when Abram said, you guys are being lied to, you know?
Yeah,
it wasn't bananas. It was the twins.
Why would you not respond, though?
Yeah? What do you mean? Like, if you...
You can't just sit there in silence.
Like, oh, okay. All right. I'll give it to you. Kind of like a podcast itself. I'm like, Dave, you gotta say something. Oh, man. All right.
I don't know. I didn't really think there was anything weird about that moment at all.
Oh, no.
What are your thoughts on it? Like, I don't get exactly what you're...
No, I guess I was just saying, like, he was saying, you guys are being lied to, and the twins are the first one to say, like, by who? You know, like, they could have said, we have no idea what you're talking about, lying to or whatever. Let's move past it. So they say, we made no promises to anyone. And he was like, oh, you see, Kara, Jamie, they said they don't promise you anything. You know? But, like, right there in the middle of everyone, so this is done between the twins and you guys, you know? It was so fatherly. It was just
like,
so...
you guys you think you have an alliance together? No. I'm breaking you up right now. You two, you sit on this side of the bus, and you sit over there.
It was nuts.
It was like the bus driver, like, stopping the bus. All right, you kids, you sit over here.
Yeah.
Breaking it up.
Eventually, Cars stands up, and she's like, you came in this house wanting to go after him. She points to Bananas in the back. And he's like, you said you wanted to take him out because he's a piece of shit, and you want him out of here, and all this other stuff. And Abe is like, it's still true. I still do. And Banana's like, it's okay. The feeling's mutual, Abe. You know, don't worry about that. So Abe is like, yeah, I understand. Right now, Carr is trying to save the twins and redirect his anger to Bananas. And Bananas, of course, is not scared to agitate him. He's like, feeling's mutual, Abe, you know? But instead, Abe doesn't fall for it. He's like, yeah. But now we have Thomas here, and you guys getting each other's massages. And Thomas is like, what? Who told you that? And Abram's like, Thomas? And Thomas is like, yes, sir. Like, I got that information from Kara. And Thomas is like, okay.
I wish Abram would have said, like, who do you think said that? Do you think it's a lie? And then just try and catch him on it right there. But
yeah.
He could have tried to get him to say something incriminating.
There's no games with Abram. He's so just like, it's almost like being a lawyer. Like, you said this. No, you know, like, not even a lawyer. He's just like a teacher or like a bus driver. Just
he's like a lawyer. Yeah. He's just taking whatever comes at him. It's like he's got a tennis racket and he's just bam, bam, hitting it back.
You know, Thomas and Steven, they're tennis pros. It's amazing that you...
But not with their words.
Yeah, not really. No, not at all. And
not like Abram is.
Oh, yeah.
Bananas, like, Abe knows that Bananas was the one that leaked it to him.
Right.
And Abe is really doing everything that Bananas wants him to do. Mm-hmm. And Abe, I think he's aware of that, but he still doesn't care because he's pissed off at Thomas and at Kara.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know what, Bananas, I'll get to you later. Like, he's putting it above the game at this point. Like, he's sacrificing his game and Cara Maria's game. Because if he was really focused on her game, wouldn't he have gone after Bananas and just thought, okay, I'm still going to vote in Bananas because I want to help you, Cara?
That is correct. He also said that, you know, Thomas and Steven, like she said, they have promises, right? Mm-hmm. And then they just flat out just said, we don't promise anyone. And he's like, see? So there's no promises here. Now, that means she was a little bit more in danger with Thomas and Steven because she didn't even know about that. She knew about Bananas, but she was trusting in the twins.
But they were still friends. He was not going to put her under the bus.
This is the thing, though. Remember the Four Horsemen? They already said, we're lumping you with the vets. They said that to Kara. And they said we could vote in Jamie, you know, it'll get rid of Kara. So they they already said the four horsemen. It's them against the vets. Nothing's changed between the two of them. Between the four horsemen.
But
and the
Dario
vets.
and Rafi are gone. I feel like that crippled them so much.
Maybe they were now willing to work with her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it kind of would have morphed that way.
I don't know. During all this commotion, Jamie does stand up and he's like, "Hey, where did all this stem from?" Again, this is a prison. Was he a security guard or something like that? Prison guard.
Yeah, correctional officer. Probably.
Yeah. So now he's like, I forgot. This is what I do for a living. Because like he's just
putting the hat on.
He's just
clocking in. All right.
I mean, like I feel like he feels like he's dealing with two different criminals right here. It's Abe, who is a violent offender, and then there's Bananas, who's like white collar,
help manipulate and kind of cultivate the situation.
Yeah. So he gets up. He's like, "Where did you get all this?" And Bananas is saying like, "See, Jamie, you could have told him right when he showed up, and you're the cousin of Kara, and you think you care." And he's saying all this stuff. It really means nothing though, because Abe won't listen to it. I mean, even if he was, Bananas isn't helping his cause. It was really a non-segment of that whole thing.
I just thought it was nice that Jamie was standing up and saying something.
What did he say though, necessarily?
He
just asked a question.
Yeah, he was really just, hey, I'm trying to figure out why because he was in charge of it all. And I just thought it was good that he was standing up to Bananas and he wasn't just going to sit there and do nothing. Because he's on Carmaria's team. He's her bloodline. He needs to step up and say something. And they kind of edited it down. I'm sure he said more.
So all these people are kind of getting up and actually saying something. Yeah, that's really true. Jamie isn't scared. I mean, he might be scared, but that's part of his job.
Yeah, he wasn't staying on the sideline. He kind of got in there.
Yeah, and Abe, he doesn't care for people of the law, of prison guards.
No.
You ever hear the story when he got arrested and he smeared shit all over his cell? And it was like, fuck off, cops and shit like that.
I've heard of that, but
So
is that true?
Yeah, and Jamie is...
How old was he? Was this recently?
I think it was.
Was he on drugs or something? Why would he smear his shit?
That's like nothing else to do.
That's like the lowest of the low.
The lowest of the
low.
that
cop must have really fucking pissed him off. I wonder what his side of the story is.
He's anti-authority, and we'll see this again in a segment involving the after show. Anyways, holy shit, what am I getting at? Okay, so finally, everyone was yelling and stuff, and Abram goes back to the front of the seat. They start continue driving onto the mission, and all Abe is doing is just laughing maniacally. Like everyone was just like sitting there, and Banana's like, "This was funny because it's fireworks, it's entertaining, but I'm fucking stuck on a bus." But luckily, there's an exit to my left if I need to. Full of speed, jump out.
And Abe is up there just laughing because he's just like, he's like, I'm glad I got to make this bus ride a moment. Like, he really just, created a whole big thing. And he was just happy with himself because he's like, oh, I love doing this.
This is...
Abe loves taking control of the situation and making it about him.
I honestly feel... I don't think it necessarily was that. I feel like he's going through such high emotions. Like, he's so passionate that he's fucking hurt by Kara. And then you have this lunatic named Bananas there that you hate, and now you're like, fuck, I hate Thomas even more right now. Cameras are in my face. Like, there's... And Kara is trying to pull a fast one on you, saying, remember, because this is what she does. Yeah, you were out to get Bananas. She's totally exposing all of Abe's plans right in front of everyone.
Yeah.
Does she not care? Like, I thought that was zero tact. That was so... treating Abram like a bull, like raising the red in front of Bananas. That was
really stupid of her to just say that out loud.
Yeah. It really was.
Because that's probably going to be, the strategy for the next guy elimination. It seems like Abe would probably start going after him.
Almost disrespectful to Abram's game. That was his game, to help you and to get rid of him. And now she's just going to expose it all to everyone?
She's really almost taking Thomas's side by saying that, right?
Yeah, really trying to
save
save
Thomas.
Thomas.
Don't put in Thomas, put in Bananas.
That's what cracks Abram's brain, and he's laughing maniacally. He's like, this is all fucked up, and I'm loving it, or I'm not, or I'm sometimes, my sister, when she hurts herself, physically, all she does is laugh. She never cries. She just laughs. And I feel like that's Abram.
That's scary.
He's in...
That's scary stuff, man.
I mean, it's not like she could only laugh when she hurts herself. That'd be fucking scary. Or like, hey Myra, why'd the chicken cross the road to get to the other side? And she's like, hold on. That's funny. My finger. God damn it, it's broke. You know, that's fucked up.
She bends her fingers back?
To snap them just
People
to laugh.
do that?
Just to laugh.
I'll crack a knuckle. Well, as far as I'll take it.
So, we actually, on the version that I saw, after Abram sitting in that bus laughing maniacally, we cut to him at the after show. Did you see that part at all?
I'm not sure.
No? It's very jarring because it cuts right to the after show footage, which is going to show after this episode. But anyways, it's Abram at the after show, so it's like pretty current, right? They aired those pretty currently, like what, a week ago? Not even. I don't know. Either way,
I thought they filmed them like a
live?
month ago or at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
I think they got all the people for the season together.
I thought they waited until that episode airs, then they get people to talk about that episode, right?
They might space it out, but I felt like they tried to get everyone there and just do the certain episodes and knock it all out while everyone's in town.
Really?
You know?
Okay. Well,
I don't feel like they would like make people fly out there at different times, but maybe they would.
Either way, it's at the after show, and Abe has two security guards trying to block his path. He's like, I'm gonna watch this video with Cara Maria, no matter what. Like, his fucking veins are bulging out, and like these security guards, and he's like, don't touch me, don't fucking touch me, and shit, and he's trying to like slide and shit. Finally, the producer comes out. Maybe it was Bunham or Murray himself. I don't think it was, but it was a head honcho, and he's like, Abram, you need to calm down. And Abe's like, yes, sir, of course. All right, I'm good, you know? So they let him go to Cara Maria's room, which
he was a person of authority because Abram just completely turned the switch.
Yeah. Maybe he's just like the boss. He's like, I fucking pay you. Like, don't fucking, I don't know, whatever.
Probably.
Or maybe just someone that Abe respects.
He has
He's like,
to be
no,
like
this
the
is a good
stage
man.
manager or something.
I think Abram just respects him.
director.
Like, the way he addressed him was just like, I actually respect you. So if anyone could calm me down, it's you. So anyways, the guards let him go and go into this room, and Cara Maria's there, like this small little room. And Cara Maria's like, she's not frightened, but she's like, oh my God. And he comes in, he sits down. Did you see all this?
Yeah, I saw it on Twitter.
So you didn't see the rest of the after show?
I didn't know. That's the only part I saw.
Oh, okay. Well, this, maybe it wasn't part of the episode, but he's sitting there and he's just laughing. He's like, I'm sorry I freaked out, but I didn't want to sit there and watch this footage alone. I wanted to be with you. And she's like, this is going to be really difficult to watch. Yeah, it's going to be very hard to watch. And Abe's like, why? And she's like, well, because it's awkward or something like that. And he's like, no, it's not going to be awkward. You said it was okay. Like, let's sit together. And he's just like ready to watch this clip. And she's like, no, this is going to show penetration or something. Like, I don't know what it's going to show exactly. But I was like riveted. I was like, what is this footage? It was a great cut of Abram in like almost modern times. Like, this was just yesterday or today or something. And he's still fucking flipping out. And he's still a maniac. It's fucking awesome.
Because I think they obviously watched all this footage before it aired on TV. You know, I think this was recorded back then because otherwise Abe would have seen it, at least some of the stuff on TV, right? From episode 2 or 3.
Oh, right.
If that after show was recorded, it had to have been recorded a while ago.
Maybe. I mean, yeah, you would think episode 2 would be enough for him. But maybe there's even more footage. We should have watched the after show. If anyone actually watched it, can you post on the comments what actually happened? Because I have no idea. And then we'll talk about it in the next episode. How about that?
Yeah.
Because you said that you heard that the after show was almost better than the actual.
That's what most people were saying on Twitter.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn it! We should have watched that.
Yeah, we gotta watch that.
Fuck. All right. So let's cut to the actual mission. When they finally show up, it's called Hand Me Down. It makes sense in terms of bloodlines. You know, your younger brother or sister get your hand me downs. It's all fun and games. It's on a 650-foot building.
Yeah, they have like 2 giant resorts or hotels or giant buildings.
Yeah, and ropes. It's something that you could create at like a Tough Mudder, but it's 650 feet above the ground.
Yeah, it wasn't very complicated. It wasn't very big. And we've seen them do, like, on top of skyscraper stuff before, and it'd be a lot cooler.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like rope swings that you, like, at a pool where you try not to fall in the water. It was like that, but you have a really long ways to fall.
Yeah, it was, it was fine. I don't want to trash on it at all. Again, like, these missions don't really mean anything too much.
No, because like no matter what team has to vote, it's like your team is vulnerable because you have your bloodline on the other team, so you're up for elimination no matter what.
Yeah. I guess it's for some people to show what they're made out of. For instance, we'll cut to Anissa. Anissa goes first. And she's like, no, fuck this. Like, I'm not going to do it, TJ. Like, I don't care if you are giving me the look that everybody loves, and I'm not going to do it. She doesn't do it.
It was Anissa, come on. Like, prove me wrong. I want you to prove me wrong. But then you go ahead and you do the same stuff over and over again. It's like, she just constantly is a letdown. She doesn't even want to try. It's like, come on, you have the safety harness on.
I feel like our opinions were validated this episode.
It's not the first time she's done something at an extreme height.
Yeah, it's true.
There has to be something. She's been around for so many years. She's had to have done something.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, the odds are she's done something like this before. But she won't do it. She's the first one, and it's such a letdown, and Blue Team is like, God damn it, are we ever going to win? Like, what
TJ was great. Yeah. I love TJ, because he's like, really? He's like, you got to try. You can't quit.
Yeah, riveting television, that TJ.
Well,
Give him the
and that's what TJ's thing always is. He's really pissed off. Like when Jay wanted to quit in the final, he got really upset, and that's kind of TJ's thing, is you have to try.
Yeah, I don't know. Anissa's a vet, but I don't know. It was such
a
waste of time.
She just out, and she doesn't even care. It's a guy's elimination day, so it's like it's not like she would get voted in. So whatever, she's gonna take the day off because that's what Anissa does.
Oh my god, I don't know. I just hope people remember that. All right, so next, they crisscrossed from Blue Team to Red Team. Yeah. And we're not going to talk about every single one.
I thought it was going to be all blue was going to go and then all red.
Yeah.
That's what I thought when, like, Bananas got to say, oh, yeah, they're going to go first.
Exactly. Unless, do you think they cut it so that they would just go from blue to red?
No.
No?
I think that's the way they actually went.
All right, so...
But who knows?
First for the red team is Thomas. He's doing pretty good until he gets to the end, and he can't get that last rope. Abram the whole time is just like, fall, die, fucker.
Yeah, he kind of just slid down. He was hanging, and once he was hanging, he had no chance to get back up.
And like, it was a great little shot where Cara Maria has got her head in her hands. She's like, oh god, he's gonna fall.
Now he's definitely.
And Abram's laughing his ass off, looking at her, looking sad, and he's just still laughing. And like, what can you do in this horrible world that Abram finds himself in?
If Thomas had a chance, he had to have at least looked good. But then once he did bad at it, it's like, okay, if your team loses now, you're definitely getting voted in because people can now just say, "Oh, your performance was bad." Oh yeah, it's just another excuse.
All right, Kellyanne, she makes it. She does really well. I mean, I'm actually I'm rooting for her. I forgot to mention that at the previous episode, but yeah, Kellyanne is like a favorite in my eyes. She's a face, and she's a chick, and yeah,
I like Kellyanne. I'm rooting for her.
Yeah.
She's kind of, I don't know. She's kind of annoying at times, but I guess you can say that about anyone, so it's not even really a gripe. I do like her. I was rooting for Jill more though. I'd rather Jill still be around.
She's long gone though, man. You gotta get with what we have now. You gotta learn to love them. You gotta make this podcast mean something. Because if we're just like, yeah, fuck it all, like all our favorites are gone, like it's a dull podcast.
I might like Jenna more than Kellyanne because Jenna doesn't ever have any drama going on. That's why I like Jenna. She's there. She'll say some funny stuff, but she's not like Anissa or Nani who are always trying to get in the middle of situations and stir stuff up.
Yeah,
Jenna's just been really chill and relaxed this season.
Yeah, there's no need to talk about Nani. I mean, we just got rid of her. Too soon. But like, yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, Jenna actually only has like 2 lines this episode. Mm-hmm. It's about Steven's noodle arms.
Yeah.
Other than that, like, that's all she's got.
Very astute observation, though.
Next is Abram. He fucking rocks it. It doesn't look pretty, but he does. He does the job. Because he's a vet. Next is Steven. He's got the noodle arms, but he's able to make it. I don't know how to make this interesting. Bananas, he makes it for Red Team. Anthony makes it for Red Team. Corey does actually really awesome for the Red Team.
Yeah.
He just fucking blazes through that.
Because I was waiting for someone to kind of just go Donkey Kong on that.
Yeah.
And then, didn't Vince kind of try Donkey Kong?
Yeah, well, next, he's up after Mitch. Mitch is on the blue team. He's scared of heights. And for some reason, I have a fucking soft spot for this guy. But, I'm just like, oh, he's scared of heights. But I know when to be stern. and he didn't get very far. He got like maybe on the second rope.
He completely choked and panicked.
Yeah.
And like, if he wants to make it in a final, you can't let something scary like that get in your head and like take over. And it did. Like Mitch just completely. I was really disappointed. I expected so much more because of how he's done previously.
Yeah, he's been doing really good. I mean,
it's almost like a little Leroy-esque, where Leroy, you'd always do lots of great things, and you're like, oh yeah, this guy's awesome. But then every once in a while, he'd have a mission where you're just like, dude, seriously, you're better than that.
Well, I think this is basically the first time Mitch has ever disappointed me, really. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it stood out. Next on the blue team is Vince, and he tries the Donkey Kong. He tries to do arms only, and he's got huge arms, you know? But to me, it's like you still weigh a lot.
He's got a huge midsection, and like he's a big, stocky dude.
Like, I knew that he could get enough momentum to swing, but like, I figured he couldn't get too far. He still has to hold himself up by his legs on those little
it's all about just getting your feet on those little black donuts, and you just get both so that way you have your weight on your legs and not all hanging from your arms.
Yeah, and he was using all arms. So Vince, he got pretty far, like near the end, but he fell. Next is Jamie for the blue team, and he's like, holy shit, like we can't afford any more falls and stuff. And he psychs himself up, and he gets pretty far, actually. He gets to maybe the last rope, but he ends up falling.
He was really nervous about it, but he wanted to do good, and he was just focused on doing good, and then he ended up screwing up right at the end.
Yeah, he was really mad at himself, too.
And he was screaming, and I thought, like, I really liked him because he was very passionate about it. Like, he really wanted to do good.
Yeah.
But he came out short.
So, red team wins. What's her name? Brianna doesn't even have to go in this episode.
Did Jenna go? I don't think she did.
Jenna didn't go. Yeah, they were their last group, I would imagine. Or Rihanna, she didn't go. Yeah.
Anissa didn't go.
So Rihanna's like, that means I don't have to do it, right? I mean, we are bloodlines. Like, her fate, affects mine.
Yeah, they probably said off camera, we're not ever going to do it if we don't have to, so just put us last. Maybe that was their plan.
Yeah.
Just put us last, just in case.
Last.
And it worked out in their favor, and they didn't have to go.
All right, so red wins. Again, blue team's never won this season, so it's just like whatever. We cut to a little bitty meetings before the deliberation team meetings. Mike volunteers for blue again. This time they're okay with it. They're like, yeah, that's fine. Go right ahead.
When he said that, I was immediately just like, no, what are you doing, Mike? You don't volunteer yourself. It's the second episode in a row, and he did it again.
He's like, I wanna feel the rush. I want to experience it. And fucking Mitch is like, hey man, if he wants to do it, let him do it. Like, it's fine.
To me, like if you're happy to go in, that's great. I want you to be happy to go in and be confident, but you can still let the voting system work its way. Just let it play itself out. And if you get voted in, good, you're ready to go.
So you're saying listen to what people have to say, and then after a while chime in and say like, and if we can't come to a decision, I'll volunteer or something. Just spring it
No,
on.
I'm just saying wait until the votes come in. You still need to try and push people in a certain direction, or at least if someone wants to vote for someone else, let it be done. Whatever. Yeah, I gotta hand it to him. Like, it's a gutsy thing to do, but he has got tons of confidence. Like, he doesn't seem to care. He wants to go in there. He's like, I didn't fly all the way across the world to not take part in challenges. I'm here. I want to compete.
Oh yeah.
Because he probably knows this is going to be his one time only ever, right?
That's true.
I mean, he's probably not going to be back.
A lot of these bloodlines probably have to feel that way, right?
Yeah, this is their one time, so that's. I mean, wants to give it a go, so it's pretty admirable.
Right across the way from that little meeting is the red team, and Bananas is saying like, it's weird. We usually have a little sit down and talk about it before we go into the deliberation. Why aren't we doing that now? And Abe's like, okay, well, my vote is for Steven.
Yeah, because it was going to be a vote for Thomas if it was their team.
Yeah.
And since it's the other team, okay.
Tom says, he says, okay, well, then I vote Jamie. So that's just kind of the destruction of that alliance between Kara and Thomas right there. Kara's like, okay, well, then I vote in Steven, And it's like, and then Abe's like, well, I'm going to go get some coffee. He just takes off. He's like, this is what it is. Hey, it's been displayed.
Set up the dominoes for this this voting is all done by Abe. He's in control, and he's like, all right.
Yeah, and Thomas, without batting an eye, says, okay, well, then I'm putting you in then. And sorry, but this is no longer an alliance. What does he say to Kara? He's like, I never would have voted that way if your boyfriend didn't blow up everything on the bus or something like that. And Abe's like, "What was that, Tom?" And Thomas is just like, "Nothing. God, like, you're so sarcastic. You're so funny." And Abe's just like laughing his ass off and shit. And Abe's like, "I enjoyed watching you fall today," and shit like that. But yeah, it's kind of over between Thomas and Carr right now. They're literally, they voted against each other. But I don't know. The fix is in, man, and we're going into it. At the actual deliberation, Mike just stands up. "Hey, I'm not here for politics. I'm here to compete." So he volunteers, and then of course everyone votes in Steven in the end. Pretty cut and dried majority vote. Both brothers. This is a true Bloodlines elimination thing because they actually are related, not this cousin bullshit.
Yeah,
Not
they're
this-
like Dario and Rafi. They're purebred brothers.
Shit, purebred, yeah. Before all this, Abe's like, "I'm gonna be excited unless that bothers you. Unless you want me to do something else, then it's fine." And Mike's like, "Nah, get excited, pump me up. That's fine." And Abe's like, "Oh, you have no idea. You have no idea what I'm about to do." Cut to Thomas and Steven. They have a nice little scene. I felt these twins. Thomas is like, "You know what? I always put faith in you. You were always just for small things like beer pong back in the day. I knew you could always come in through in the clutch."
Came through in the clutch. Yeah.
Yeah, and Steven saying like, "You know what? This is great because I've known him my entire life, and he's helped me, and I've helped him. And now that I'm gonna go into elimination, I'm gonna win this for you, Tom." And he starts to crack up a little tear.
Did he?
Yeah,
I didn't notice
yeah.
that.
He gets very emotional when he's like, "I'm gonna win this for you, Tom."
Like they're close brothers.
Yeah.
They're twins, and he said like how they've grown up together. They've always been there for each other.
Yeah, they are linked in probably like that those
it's-
weird twins way
Yeah,
where like Carr
and
Maria's
it's closer than brothers because with like a brother who's like 3 or 4 years younger than you, you're always in a different grade or something like that. But they're going through everything in life at the same time because they're the same age.
Do you think they're like one of those weird twin things where like
Where
say
they have
Carr
ESP and they can know what each other's thinking.
No.
They can feel pain in each other.
No, Carr Maria jerks Tom off and Steven comes, like one of those things.
Oh. Maybe. That'd be some pretty mystical stuff right there.
Mystical, that's hot. Fan fiction shit right there.
Steven would be like, "Come on, Tom, go over and talk to her.
Yeah.
Try and patch things up."
He's like, "You don't get it, Steven. I can't come unless you get banged. So fucking flirt with Cara. Like, she's flirting with me, but I don't have I don't get there with her, so you gotta go." Oh my god, we're getting so off track. Alright, so finally...
But aren't they up there talking to the camera?
Yeah.
And Abe is in the background just freaking out, just yelling and screaming.
Oh, well, now we're at the actual elimination, the pit, I mean. And it's called Homewrecker. How appropriate.
Yeah,
right?
and the pit, like, okay, this is episode 7. I still don't like the name of the pit. Like,
No.
Call it the Dome or anything.
Call it something call it the Feud. Family Feud. Get it? Like, just fucking do... Who gives a shit? Like
called-
that.
It's called the Battle Box or the
The
Battle
ba-
Zone or
the
something.
Battle
I
Box.
don't care.
Yeah, or call it the Bloodbath or some shit. Like, oh, that'd be awesome. Welcome to the Bloodbath.
Everything's a first blood match. You just get a weapon and you go at each other.
Dirty syringes. You're gonna go at it. You're like,
They gotta keep this TV 14 though.
yeah. So no blood? Well, too bad. There's gonna be blood in this, like a goddamn pay-per-view wrestling event. It's gonna be awesome. So, but before we get this, it's called Homewrecker. Some hardcore old school fans will recognize this as a mission in the Inferno.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember seeing this before and I was
Yeah.
like, yes!
Same concept, same idea, except the rooms were big enough for that a whole team could go in there and smash shit and put it in a box. But now
I knew it was endurance though.
Yeah.
Right as I saw it, I'm like, you're gonna have to swing that a lot, and it's gonna come down to who can do it consistently for that long amount of time, because it does not go quick, especially if they're by themselves.
It's going to be very entertaining to watch, but I don't know. How do you feel about it being a callback to an old thing? Are you okay with it?
I
You okay
liked
with
it. It's a good one. It's better than what we've had.
That's true.
I'd
Oh, that's
almost
true.
just prefer it. Let's keep doing reruns. If you don't have anything good that's new,
Yeah.
don't just throw a ball in the middle of some reed walls and just like, okay, run around and grab a ball and bring it back.
Yeah.
Just play fetch. Like, really?
So before it even begins, both brothers are trying to get each other psyched up. But Thomas and Steven, like, they can't even get in the zone because they're getting distracted by
Completely
what's...
different ways of getting pumped up.
All they're doing is complaining about Abram and Mike. They're like, oh, they're fucking immature. Like, grow up already. But Abe and Mike, like, Abram was like, oh, let's go, screaming, getting... And this is where Mike turns. He fucking turns it up to 11, and he's just like his brother, just screaming and shit, like, ah! All these primal screams. Abram is fucking like headbanging and shit, and he's got a fucking bloody nose. He's got a Hitler stash of blood. And Mike's like, you got a bloody nose. And Abe's like, what? He takes the blood, licks it, and then he smears it over his face.
Freaking war paint for him.
Yeah,
he's going nuts.
He's doing the ultimate warrior,
and
man.
And it's working because you can see Thomas and Steven are just standing over there like just petrified. Yeah. And they're just like, oh god, these crazy people. And they're like, they're just doing this to get in our head, but it's not working. We're just acting chill and cool. But the thing is, like, it's impossible for you not to think about it because they're being so loud and obnoxious.
Yeah, they start hearing all this shit. Like, they stop talking to each other and look. They're both looking, and Abe's just, like, barking like a dog and shit. Like, there's no way to get him out of your head at all. Either one of these twins. Neither one of them, you know?
It would have been great if Thomas would have just kind of grown a pair and just been like, hey, Abe, I still got her number. Or something like that.
Shit.
Just be like, oh, and get in his head right before it.
Oh my god.
That was a brilliant moment, but he didn't do it. Like, Thomas could have done so much cool stuff right there.
But the main thing, I guess, these twins are kind of a letdown. Kind of like the former twins, the Dario and Rafi, because Thomas fell on this mission. Steven, he doesn't really put up much of a match at all. Like, Mike is pumped up the entire time, smashing, like, nonstop. Screaming.
And he's got awesome form. The way he's swinging it compared to Steven's swing, which is just a half-ass like Zach kind of swing.
Yeah, he's not even holding it correctly and shit.
Yeah.
Steven is just pouring with sweat. He's like, oh god, what did he say? I'm picking up the smaller pieces of debris because I just need to breathe, you know. But Mike, he's just going at it. Abe's like, chop that chair at the crutch, just like chopping wood or something like that. I don't remember what he said. And Abram's just screaming the whole time. He actually starts to cough. It looks like he's about to die. He's like, ah! like he was having a stroke. Like the cocaine, whatever he's on, like it's just really turning on him. I mean, the guy was jacked. Part of it was his own natural mania, but part, like, you know, that random bloody nose. Sure, he probably hit it on the shoulder of Mike. But to me, I'm like, what if he's just fucking coked out? Producer's like, dude, we need the ratings. Fucking, here's a bump. You know what I mean? Holy shit.
I don't think he needs that. I think that's just the way he is.
Yeah, but producers are still just like, fucking...
If this was the 80s...
Blow it in his face.
Early 90s MTV.
Yeah.
And it's great. He's just... And they're talking about it later, how he's just yelling out stuff that's completely contradicting itself. Where he's like, go harder. Not too hard. Don't wear yourself out. Go fast. But be patient.
He just never stops. Like, I think he really got into their heads. And Steven was, you know, he had the noodly arms. Call back to Jenna. Jenna's only two fucking lines, you know. It's funny, near the end, Mike pretty much has us in the bag. But now, last but not least, is TJ's portrait. And Banana's like, hit it with that sledgehammer. And Mike's okay, cool, yeah. And he's looking at it. People are cheering and stuff. And Abram's like, what the fuck are you doing? Get back to work. Are you fucking crazy? Are you an idiot? Like, finish it up.
Yeah. It's like he's celebrating before he got into the end zone.
Yeah.
Doing a little victory dance.
I loved it. Abe he's like, no, fucking do the work already. And he's yelling at his brother, younger brother?
Younger brother.
Yeah?
I would say so.
Yeah.
Abe's what, like 30, I'd say?
31?
Yeah.
32?
His brother's probably 24, 25?
Yeah?
I don't know. That's a random guess.
But fucking Mike wins. I actually had a fear that Thomas and Steven would win.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was going to be too. And I was thinking Cara Maria and this Thomas thing just made Abe make a poor decision. He didn't vote for Vince or Bananas to go in. He's just going to vote in Thomas, and now he's going to end up getting screwed over because his little bro wanted to volunteer and go in again. I think Abe knew that Mike was a beast.
Yeah.
He had to have known. That's why he was never upset when he volunteered to go in. Abe was always cool with it. He's like, yeah, if you want to go in, you can take these guys down.
Yeah. And Mike, he was just like, I just want that experience. I want that fucking rush. I want to do this. And I told you before, like, they tried to make a show where they were just doing all these extreme stunts and stuff. It was the three of those brothers. I don't know what happened to the other one. The other one might be dead. You don't know.
Oh. River Phoenix situation?
Oh, God, not again. You already made that joke, god damn it.
I know, it's called a callback. A challenge does it, but
This is not Arrested Development. Oh yeah, but this doesn't. So anyways...
There's always money in the bananas.
They win. Abe and Mike win. Thomas and Steven are there, and Thomas is like, you know what, hey, they work construction, so no shit, they could probably destruct this room, but hopefully he can reconstruct his relationship with Kara, something like that. And that was his parting lines, like, those twins are out of there. Overall disappointing. Like, I actually was looking forward to those twins. I was rooting for them in a little bit of a way.
I thought they were really going to impress.
But they kind of went out with a whimper.
Yeah, and it was like, we don't do construction. It was like, well, first off, you didn't have the endurance that he did. And plus, it's just kind of like some simple logic on how you would like most easily break apart a piece of furniture.
Yeah.
He couldn't figure it out. And it was like, it's on you just not being a good problem solver and working with what is given in front of you. You have a task at hand, take care of it.
What now? Okay, so anyways, they get back and, Abe is, they're all saying like, that was funny, Abe, and blah, blah, blah. But Cara Maria, she confides to her cousin Jamie, and she's like, I don't want to...
She's breaking down. Yeah, she kind of just broke down, and she's like laying all the cards down on the table.
Yeah, she's like, I don't want to be with him anymore. Like, I was going to break up with him when I got back home. Like, we break up all the time, get back together. She's like, I don't want him here. I wish he never came here and shit like that. Like, yeah, just completely breaking down.
Yeah, this is nuts.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't really expect that coming at all. Yeah. And everything it's crazy that Cara Maria is just like, I wish he wasn't even here. This is her just focusing on, like, her real life stuff, not about the game. She's like, even how, like, he affected the game, she doesn't even give a shit. She's like, I don't want him here.
Unless she really felt something for Thomas. I mean, she really kind of...
Maybe she was trying to get her feet wet, I guess, and be like, hey, I'm going to be newly single.
Oh,
she thought after the show, I'm done with Abe after this. She didn't expect him to come, and she was relieved by that. And she's like, okay, good. It's just me. And then all of a sudden he shows up, and she's like, oh, shit. Because she wanted to just move on, and Thomas was just going to be a little flirty thing. Maybe they would have gone by, like, episode 8. They would have been making out and, like, sleeping together.
Yeah. So now it's the end of the episode, and you know what? The Lord Sidious, the Dark Lord of the Sith, behind all of this. Well, not really behind all of it, but his bananas. Yeah, he got his way. I wouldn't call him a puppet master. Well, he just basically exposed something that was going to do anyways, but why not now during a male elimination week? Yeah. It's good
timing. There was a piece of low-hanging fruit, and Banana's like, okay, obviously, why are we not addressing this?
Yeah, I mean, it's timing is everything. It could have happened earlier, but
Banana said that line. I think it was earlier in the episode where he's like, "This has a chance to be one of like the most evil maneuvers in the game."
Oh yeah.
Like it wasn't very evil at all. It was just smart. Like, yeah, there was nothing evil or sinister about it.
And it was almost like, hey, you see this levee? It's about to break. It's been flooding. And he, you know what? He didn't even fucking kick the things out from under it. His brother did, or his cousin Vince did. You know.
Well, that's because he knew Abram wouldn't listen to Bananas, like because he hates him. I think he knew that.
I mean, Bananas is safe. He lives on for another. We have to deal with him for at least 2 more episodes.
He delayed himself getting thrown in for this episode. Yeah. But in the next episode, he should be fine because that'll be a girls' elimination. But then the episode after that.
So now, who's gone? Thomas. Thomas is going to be back for Rivals 3. Rivals 3 alert. I don't know who he's with, though. God damn it. Simone? Oh, Simone. This is stemming from Battle of the Exes 2. In the trailer, you see Simone throwing a drink in Thomas's face. It's never actually in the season itself. It's never aired. But they're stemming that pairing from that trailer. So Thomas is back.
They're really reaching there.
Yeah.
But on some of them, they kind of do. It's like, wow. Like, they're trying to get people on there.
I think we all know that, the theme is it's paper thin with a lot of this, because you're going to get the same
Because if it's
people.
guy-girl like Thomas, he doesn't really have any girl rivals ever. There's just, like, that one incident, so, like, okay, we're going to go with this. Because she's also available. So,
Thomas, you're going to come back. You're going to be with Simone.
Overall, did you like the episode?
I loved it. I thought it was one of the best. I felt that Abram in his performance, and just the fact that he burns throughout this whole fucking episode, it all has to do with him, was great. I felt that producers were like, holy shit, we had no idea he was this good. Because back in Battle of the Exes 1, he was just kind of, like moping around as a car. Why don't you love me and shit like that, he gave a great elimination round, but other than that, he was barely there. This time, it's the Abram show. His presence was felt as soon as Cara Maria was hooking up with Thomas. Everyone was like, holy shit, Abram would be pissed, even before he even showed up,
I was a little surprised it wasn't Mike going home, because it seemed the way everything was playing out, that, like, Abe is coming in, he discovers this, he tries to throw him in, and then he gets sent home himself. Like, I could have seen that, and it would have just been like, wow, Abe's only around for a couple episodes, then he's gone.
Yeah.
Now that Abe's there, I feel like he's one of the top players. And Mike has just gone in, he's proven himself. So, like, Abe and Mike, they don't need to go in next time. They've already went in.
Yeah.
I feel like they're strong players in this game.
If you like this, like it, comment, subscribe to our channel, because you'll get a notification every time a new episode drops. Check out our channel. We have other seasons that we covered.
All we have to do now is watch that after show.
Oh, yeah, we gotta watch that.
We'll talk about that possibly next episode. Well, after we watch it.
Yeah. All right, until then, I am Vincent Cloud.
And I'm David Lauer.